What's that sound? It's for amusement only, the EM and Bingo Pinball Podcast.
Welcome back to For Amusement Only. This is Nick Baldridge. Tonight I wanted to talk about another Pamco game. The 1935 Roto Lite. Now this game I don't have much information on, but I'll tell you what I do know, and then what I can guess. And hopefully it's mostly correct. So if you'll recall, a few days ago, I had a podcast about Pamco's Lite line. This continues that tradition, but it narrows the number of cards from 3 to 2. Beyond that, it only has 2 coin slots, as each one lights one of the cards. The playfield layout is fairly interesting, very reminiscent of other early pin games. This has a standard shooter lane arrangement, which goes into the playfield, just like on many other pin games of this era. There's a hole at the top, and this hole, if you land in, will spin the numbers. Now, it's really hard to tell from the photos on IPDB, but it appears that they are bumpers, contact bumpers, but I'm not certain of that. They may just be springs. At any rate, if you land a ball in that hole, what it will do is randomly spin and then award numbers. Now, if you get 3 in a row, then you win. But I'm not really certain how that spinning functionality works. I believe it just, starts stepping through the numbers and then stops on one based on the position of the motor. But I have no proof of this. It's all conjecture. Now, if anyone's ever seen one of these, I would be happy to hear about it. I'm really fascinated by these games that have bingo cards in the back box, but are actually straight up pinball. And this appears to be one of those hybrid games. Very interesting. The cabinet artwork, again, just like Lite line, is pretty deco. There are a couple of circles with some tapered lines coming down to the front of the cabinet from the back. Big circle in the center of the front with an arrow on either side pointing towards the upper edges of the front of the cabinet. Below that, the 2 coin slots, and then those cool tapered legs that they used on Lite line as well. Now, one of the funniest things on the flyer is their advertisement of Baby Lite line. Baby Lite line is the countertop version. Now, at this time, it was not uncommon for manufacturers to make 2 different models. One that was freestanding or floor standing, and then one that was countertop. Now, the reason is that these games were fairly small, and in fact, most of the time the only difference is that they had drilled holes in the cab for the legs. Other than that, the games are identical. The countertop games typically ran off of a dry cell battery. But if you'll recall from my Lite-A-Line episode, this actually plugged in, which is a bit unusual for the time. Now I'm going to assume that Roto Lite is also a plug-in game, but yet again I have no proof. And the reason I want to assume this is that it uses a similar bingo card style as the Lite-A-Line, but that is pure conjecture. I have no idea what it's actually like inside. Again, if anyone has any knowledge of this game, I would love to know about it, because it looks really cool. There's a neat whirlpool type graphic towards the center of the playfield, and below that there appears to be a drain which will allow either the ball to return, or it will spin a second time on a single ball. Now that upper hole, when you land in it, after it spins, it kicks out the ball. Now this is likely also triggered off of a score motor switch, or a motor switch. So once it's finished its revolution, switch closes, it kicks, and the ball continues down the playfield. Now I'm really curious to know what those bumpers are and what they do. It may just be that they're springs, and they just deflect the ball. And so what you're probably trying to do, if I can guess from this picture, which, I'm sorry, I know it's a lot of guesswork, but my guess is that you land in that upper hole and you want to nudge the game such that it will bounce into that lower hole, which is not on either side, those being the out holes. So it looks really cool. I would love to see and play one. I'm not sure if this would have any more staying power than a Lite-A-Line in the collection. By Lite-A-Line, I mean the Pamco one. But I will say it would be a very unique piece, and it's something I would like to have in my collection. It's just cool. So, that's all for tonight. Thank you very much for listening. My name again is Nick Baldridge. You can reach me at foramusementonlypodcast@gmail.com, or you can call me on the Bingos line. That's 724-BINGOS1, 724-246-4671. You can listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Casts via RSS, on Facebook, on Twitter at Bingo Podcasts. You can follow me on Instagram at nbaldridge, or you can listen to us on our website, which is foramusementonly.libsyn.com. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.